Good evening, it's time for the news right here on Times Television, TTV, and here with me, Ronald Mpaso. First, the headlines. Public Accounts Committee of Parliament is tomorrow expected to meet the Auditor General over the 6.2 billion kwacha COVID-19 forensic audit report. Electricity Generation Company reveals that works on the Tedzani 4 project are almost complete. And 4 people, including an American national, have died in a road accident along the Zalewa Road. We have these and other stories. Stay with us. In our first story, Public Accounts Committee of Parliament is tomorrow expected to meet the Auditor General to explain the methodology used in the 6.2 billion kwacha COVID-19 forensic audit report. The development comes at a time some quarters of society are raising concerns on why the country's security agencies were not included in the report despite receiving money from the 6.2 billion kwacha fund. More in this report.
Public Accounts Committee of Parliament Chairperson Shadrack Namalomba said there have been concerns from the public as to why only 39% of the resources were accounted for in the report. He says apart from meeting the Auditor General, his committee will also meet the Presidential Task Force to explain why they were getting allowances from Umodzi Park.
We want the Auditor General to speak to his report, as other quarters have raised. They have raised that that report may not be complete. For example, Malawi Defense Force hasn't been covered, so too police is not being mentioned in the report, yet they received the COVID funds. And again, people have also been saying, look, the findings, when you add them up, they are coming up to about 39%, leaving about 61% of the 6.2 billion.
Addressing the nation last Sunday evening, President Lazarus Chakwera said he would not shoot anybody who is found to have taken part in the looting of the 6.2 billion kwacha funds meant for the fight against COVID-19. As of Sunday morning, about 60 Malawians had been arrested for their involvement in the abuse of the funds.
Electricity Generation Company has said that works on the Tedzani 4 project are almost complete. According to the company's spokesperson, Moses Gwaza, the project is expected to be complete by the end of the month. The project will add 18 megawatts to the national grid. Justin Mkweu has more in this report.
Speaking in an interview, the company's spokesperson, Moses Gwaza, said the plant has now started releasing power into the national grid on testing basis. He added that the completion of the power station will not only add more power to the national grid, but also boost their business. Gwaza said according to Electricity Supply Corporation of Malawi ESCOM, the whole northern region consumes 19 megawatts during off-peak. Therefore, adding 18 megawatts to the national grid means adding enough power, which will make a huge difference. Despite hydropower posing challenges to the efficient supply of electricity in the country, Community Energy Malawi CEM Country Director Edgar Wayani said the country is going towards the right direction. He said that when the country talks about climate change, the country wants to reduce carbon emissions. Therefore, projects like diesel gensets and coal-fired plants are the ones directly contributing towards climate change, while hydro is a renewable source of energy and it can help in climate change fight. Malawi's electricity is highly dependent on hydropower plants, which makes it less reliable during dry season or excess rains.
As the winter season fast approaches, a group of female councillors in Mzuzu has embarked on a campaign trying to persuade people in the 15 wards of the city to get the AstraZeneca vaccine raising fears that cases of COVID-19 may start to rise during the cold season. The councillors are of the view that if more people get vaccinated, the likelihood of contracting the virus during the cold season would be low. Details in this report by Patience Lunda.
Among others, the councillors are also disputing myths surrounding the AstraZeneca vaccine through awareness campaigns that are conducted in the wards. Chiwanja Ward Councillor Martha Jere said despite numerous sensitization campaigns, a lot of people are still not willing to go for the vaccine, hence the need to use various approaches. Vaccination is for free. I am encouraging everyone to go and get vaccinated. Jere adds that COVID-19 has affected many sectors of life and the vaccine has come to ease the impact of the pandemic. On his part, Gibson Chisale, Executive Director for Pace for Social Change, a non-governmental organization facilitating active community participation in various sectors, said the AstraZeneca vaccine is not accepted by other quarters of the society, hence the need for a collective approach in addressing the issue.
This message has come in a right time where we are actually trying to reach out to the community in terms of removing the misconception that the community have on the issues of vaccine.
Mzuzu Side has 4 female ward councillors.
4 people, including an American national, have died and 6 others have sustained injuries in a road accident involving 2 vehicles at Kandoje village along the Chingeni-Zalewa part of the M1 road. The youngest of the victims is aged 14, while the American national is aged 70. A report made available to Times by Neno Police Public Relations Officer, Neno Police Officer in Charge, Dennis Nankondwa, states that the accident occurred today at around 11 a.m. Neno Police Public Relations Officer Joshua Jalasi explains.
This Toyota Lexus, registration number KK9382 with 5 passengers on board. I was coming from Kamwamba to Zalewa, and upon arrival at Kandoje, the driver she hit a pothole, and due to speeding, the vehicle swerved to the right lane, where it was hit by the motor vehicle, which was coming from the other direction. This accident has claimed 4 lives, and others are receiving treatment. They are treated as outpatients at the Relief Sungwi, and others are at Queen Elizabeth Central Hospital.
Member of Parliament from Zimba North East constituency, Catherine Gotani-Hara, has pleaded with education authorities in the country to pay closer attention to teachers in rural and hard-to-reach areas by, among others, promoting them, especially for those that are doing very well in their duties. And Hara was speaking who is also Speaker of the National Assembly, said she has received numerous reports of names of teachers who have been performing well and have sent scores of learners to national and district secondary schools but are not recognized. Feston Malekezo has a report.
Gotani-Hara was speaking at Ekwendeni in Mzimba district during a merit award ceremony for teachers and primary school advisors who performed well in last year's primary school leaving certificate examinations. The Member of Parliament said it is sad that education standards are dwindling in her constituency and in Mzimba district as a whole, hence calling on education authorities and other stakeholders to reward and motivate deserving teachers and learners.
Because I've had quite a number of teachers come to me complaining when they sometimes do promotions, they do a bulk type of promotions, and sometimes it's not the best performing teachers that are promoted. It's those that have sometimes connections that will get promoted. So I was putting up a plea to say that, for example, if we're going to have promotions, I would have thought and loved to see these teachers, those coming from Utini Kapiri, to be the first ones to be promoted because they have clearly shown they are performing. It would be sad and surprising to see that those that will be promoted probably are coming from schools that have not performed. So I think it's something that the Education Ministry should look at.
In his remarks, Nkosi Kampingo Swande, who presided over the awards presentation ceremony, called on government and stakeholders in the education sector to join hands and uplift education standards in the district.
As chiefs, we mostly have the work to ensure that the the duty bearers that are within us, the community, they are performing. So when we relax, they also relax. So for us as chiefs, I encourage my subjects to be monitoring the education standards that are within their communities.
Nzimba North District Education Manager said the government is working on a strategic plan which will enable all those who have performed well get recognition. At least 10 teachers and 5 primary education advisors from Nzimba North District were recognized with certificates and cash for their star performance.
The suspension of a 1% tourism levy is said to have crippled efforts to market the country's tourism sites. The Ministry of Tourism was collecting the levy from accommodation and tourism attraction places. The Treasury effected the suspension in April last year to cushion the tourism industry from the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic. Matthews Kasanda has the details.
Ministry of Tourism and Culture spokesperson Sarah Njanji has indicated that before the suspension in 2019, about 691 million kwacha was collected as the tourism marketing fund, but since last year no collection has been done. She said this in Doha when the Ministry of Tourism engaged editors and reporters from various media houses in the country to share the implementation of the domestic tourism marketing strategy. She has further said in the 2020-2021 national budget, the tourism sector was allocated about 43 million kwacha for marketing, which could not meet the demand.
At the moment, we've been given a warranty to spend some of the money that is available on the fund, and there are activities that we're going to carry out to enhance the visibility of Malawi tourism. So at the moment, we are continuing to engage Treasury to see if they could lift the suspension, because money that is collected on this levy is what we use for promotion of Malawi as a tourism destination, both for local and international.
Ministry of Finance spokesperson Williams Banda, however, says the suspension cannot be lifted because the tourism sector is yet to fully recover from the pandemic's economic effects.
Great Dominion Holdings Limited President Kingston Ngwira has urged Malawians to embrace entrepreneurship rather than just waiting for government to employ them. Ngwira was speaking in Lilongwe during the launching ceremony of a group called Great Entrepreneurship Club. The club is an organization designed to reach out to future and existing entrepreneurs at all levels with business skills. Ngwira explains.
Basically, we are trying to say that SMEs, or maybe those that would want to go into business or they're already in businesses, they form part of the economy. So we want to contribute to complement to government efforts in terms of reducing the unemployment in Malawi. But we also see that in terms of public sector service, government might finance the public sector through taxation, and if the people are employed, government would go there and actually obtain or get maybe taxation, but also from their businesses, and then they can actually finance.
That's the president of the Great Dominion Holdings Limited, and he is Kingston Ngwira. You're watching the news right here on Times Television, TTV, and we now take a break. We'll be back shortly.
If there's one thing that all soaps do, it's wash. From buckets to basins, bathrooms to streams, and everything in between.
All soaps wash.
Yes, but Protex is different. Its reinvented formula with flaxseed oil boosts your skin's natural anti-germ defenses by 10 times more, protecting you against 99.9% of germs. So what keeps us healthy?
Protex!
Good health starts here.
Do your gums hurt?
Yeah.
Does your toothpaste contain sage, eucalyptus, myrrh, chamomile?
All that in one toothpaste?
Yes, try Colgate Herbal. Colgate Herbal contains nature's best herbs and Colgate's fluoride technology to give you strong teeth and healthy gums.
Ah, Colgate Herbal.
Let's go. Colgate Herbal for strong teeth and healthy gums naturally.
Kungonjezera mayunits ati ene mkuyambira 200 kwacha kapena kuposera pamenepo mutha kukhala mmodzi mwa mamilioneya mu TNM Tikolole promotion. Koma mukaonjezera mayunits ndi 100 kwacha kapena kuposerapo mudzilandira mabonus oyimbira foni, SMS kapena data pompo.
TNM, always with you.
Welcome back, and we go straight to international news. US President Joe Biden has recognized that the systematic killing and deportation of hundreds of thousands of Armenians by Ottoman Turks a century ago was genocide. As VOA senior diplomatic correspondent Cindy Sain reports, with the White House statement released yesterday, Biden became the first American president to do so.
These rare images from 1923, shared by the Cineteca of Bologna, show survivors of the mass deportation and slaughter of Armenians by the Ottoman Empire in 1915 and 1916. Some of the images include children packed onto boats in Turkey and lines of refugees trudging along roads. Armenians say up to 1.5 million people were killed during World War I as the Ottoman Empire broke up, a claim supported by some 30 countries. Turkey, which rose from the ashes of the Ottoman Empire in the 1920s, still strongly rejects the genocide label, saying that 300,000 to 500,000 Armenians and at least as many Turks died in fighting when Armenians rose up against their Ottoman rulers. The atrocities are commemorated in Armenia and among the Armenian community worldwide every April the 24th. This week, more than 100 U.S. lawmakers from both parties sent a letter to Biden asking him specifically to use the word genocide in his Remembrance Proclamation. Democratic Congressman Brad Sherman of California has long advocated for the recognition.
Genocide denial is the last act of a genocide. First you exterminate a people, then you try to exterminate the memory of the extermination. It is the first step in the next genocide.
Turkey's Foreign Minister Mevlut Çavuşoğlu warned the Biden administration that genocide recognition would harm U.S. ties with Ankara. Asked about the state of bilateral relations, State Department spokesperson Ned Price said Turkey is a valued NATO ally.
As friends, as allies, when we have disagreements, we raise those, we discuss those, and there's no papering over them.
Hirac Gregorian told VOA he is not worried about lasting damage to U.S.-Turkish ties.
I think that there'll be some bridges burned. This is symbolically, obviously important to both, certainly to Ankara, if less so, to Washington. But, you know, in international relations, bridges get burnt and rebuilt because states act on their national interest.
Genocide expert Anit Khosrova helped to facilitate a letter from Armenian historians to President Biden requesting he use the word genocide, and cautioned the number of survivors of the atrocities is dwindling.
We have a lot of survivors of the Armenian genocide. Even year by year, they are becoming less and less. But till now, we remember and we demand justice, because till now, the Turkish denial policy, which continues until today.
Khosrova agreed with other genocide experts that formal recognition helps to prevent future atrocities against minority, ethnic, and religious groups. Cindy Sain, VOA News.
As teenage pregnancies soared during the coronavirus lockdowns in Kenya, teachers and parents looked for a way to reduce the problem. Their idea was to form a ladies' soccer club to direct their energy in a healthy way. Brenda Malinya reports from Nairobi.
In the heart of Africa's largest urban slum, Kibera, two amateur Kenyan football soccer teams, the Undugu Queens and the Queens Starlets, are playing a friendly game. The ladies' teams were formed as Kenyan authorities say teenage pregnancies jumped at least 40% during COVID lockdown measures.
Na Charity.
Founder and coach of the Undugu Queens Club, Laban Ouma, says their goal was to direct the ladies' energy in a healthy way.
The impact that this program gives to the girl is that it is protecting them from the ills within the social structure where we are living. We are living in an environment full of drug and substance abuse. We have early pregnancies too.
Winfred Nyaboke joined the Undugu Queens in late 2020 after her best friend Ruth got pregnant while schools were closed during the pandemic.
She was my good friend. She refused to join us in playing soccer. She decided to play with boys. Right now she is pregnant. I decided to keep myself busy with soccer. I knew it would keep me from falling into the same trap.
Uzapata ka boyfriend hivyo upate mimba, kasema cha tu ni join ball.
The Undugu Queens practice every day of the week and have games every weekend. The players' parents say the demanding schedule is helping to keep their daughters safe and healthy.
We are very thankful when they are playing soccer, because that child will not leave the pitch to go and engage in destructive behavior.
The football club also offers a mentorship program for schoolwork as well as access to menstrual health care products. But some players still become pregnant.
I stopped playing soccer after getting pregnant. I couldn't continue during my pregnancy. Now that the baby is a little bit older, I can play again.
The team's hard work appears to be paying off. The Undugu Queens are set to join the Nairobi County Women's Football League after the coronavirus suspension on sports events is lifted. Brenda Malinya for VOA News, Nairobi.
That's the news for now, but before we go, the headlines again. Public Affairs Committee of Parliament will tomorrow meet the Auditor General over 6.2 billion kwacha COVID-19 forensic audit report. Electricity generation company Igenco reveals that works on the Tedzani 4 project are almost complete, and 4 people, including an American national, have died in a road accident along the Zalewa Road. You've been with me, Ronald Mpaso, but you can get more on these and other stories by visiting our website www.times.mw, liking our Facebook page Times 360 Malawi, and following us on Twitter at Times 360 Malawi. Remember to wash your hands regularly, observe social and physical distance, and mask up. Stay safe and have a lovely night.